Imagine now in this day and age exactly how this would happen without a furor really of everybody kicking off, writing about it on social media, and of course basically saying it's favoritism. We're talking about a Hollywood legend and the monarch. Yes, way back in the early 1960s, something rather dramatic happened which made these two Elizabeths, quite frankly, front page news. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. How are you today? Thank you so much for joining me. By the way, lovely comments as ever on the video we made for the late Don Murray, co-star of course of the beautiful Marilyn and many other things. Many of you remembered him of course from Knots Landing. Big soaps then, weren't they, in the 1980s? You don't have that now, do you? I was thinking that. The soap awards, I don't know about you, we have them over here. I've never heard of these people. Of course I don't watch them anymore, but you know when you think big soap operas, General Hospital, As the World Turns. I used to love Santa Barbara. Do you remember that one? It was so bad it was good, wasn't it? Yes, you see, I know. It used to be on, I think when we were on school holidays or something like that. It was shockingly bad, but so addictive. Now, someone who literally made their mark on the world is none other than, of course, this beautiful actress, Dame Elizabeth Taylor. And a place that's been in the news for quite some time now recently, all thanks to some sad health news regarding His Majesty the King and, of course, the Princess of Wales, Catherine, is the London Clinic. But the London Clinic is now used, as one can imagine, to have all of those cameras outside their doors 24/7, normally with police guard. Now this was no different, sadly, for the wonderful Dame Elizabeth Taylor way back in 1961. You see, she'd been booked to make the now infamous Cleopatra movie out at Pinewood Studios in Iver, Buckinghamshire. And basically this was kind of going well until the weather opened quite badly. Now Elizabeth, as Mickey Rooney told me, suffered from so many illnesses during her life, and apparently she attributed this to a fall while making National Velvet, which was the start, she claims, of everything, and who are we to argue? But by this time Elizabeth Taylor was, quite frankly, the most famous second Elizabeth in the world, after of course our wonderful monarch Queen Elizabeth. And she was being paid £1 million to star as the Egyptian Queen in, quite frankly, one of the most expensive movie epics ever made. 20th Century Fox almost went bankrupt, and amazingly they thought that she could pull in an audience, to kind of rival that money. As we've told you in previous videos, not everybody was happy with Elizabeth Taylor pulling in $1 million per movie. She was the very first actress to do that, and Marilyn Monroe, her sort of 20th Century Fox sort of stablemate, was less than thrilled, as one can imagine. But sadly for Elizabeth, she quickly took ill over here in England, and this was attributed to the bad inclement weather, a little bit like we've got today. She developed a chesty cough, then it developed into a very big cold, and things simply escalated. She's been treated in the luxury suite at that point at the Dorchester Hotel, and basically at that point, people thought she may just simply recover and recuperate, but things took a turn for the worst. Pneumonia set in, and quite frankly it was a near-death experience for Dame Elizabeth, or just simply Elizabeth Taylor as she was then, and at that point still married to the crooner Eddie Fisher. Now they decided naturally to transfer her to the London Clinic because she needed better care and attention. Now this became something of a visual, let me tell you. Every newsreel in the world, front newspaper, was writing about Elizabeth Taylor in the London Clinic, but she wasn't getting any better. So doctors apparently were literally baffled as to what to do. One doctor who did know, along with his associates, was none other than Lord Evans. He was a private physician to our late and wonderful monarch Queen Elizabeth II, and he was requested could he come along and offer his expertise. Now because he was the chief physician to the Queen, he had to get permission. Her Majesty said, absolutely, of course, I'm very concerned, do whatever is necessary. He dashed over there, and along with, as I say, his very skilled team managed to alleviate that particular medical problem at that point. But then developed something of a, shall we say, wonderful close friendship between the two Elizabeths. Now when Cleopatra was finished, Elizabeth Taylor had Fox send over Queen Elizabeth a private pre-copy of the movie. And not only that, Queen Elizabeth herself sent personal flowers to the London clinic along with a very personal message, which Dame Elizabeth kept to her very last days. Incredibly moved. Now, I was told that at Dame Elizabeth's investiture, Her Majesty the Queen sent a message basically saying it's been quite a life, and apparently Elizabeth Taylor said snap, and both ladies, called Elizabeth, simply smiled at each other, knowing that they were part of history. But for a very brief moment, all thanks to the sanctioning of our wonderful late monarch, she made sure that Elizabeth Taylor had the very best medical attention that money could buy. And that was something that Dame Elizabeth Taylor truly never forgot. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.